friends, welcome back to the channel. Masak with me. Masak means cook in my Malaysian language. Today we'll be preparing satay, and satay is a Southeast Asian dish. It's a chicken on a stick or beef on a stick, and you can also choose pork if you would like. And this is the marinade that I'm first starting off with, and let's get to it. So these are the ingredients that you will need, which is coriander seeds, whole. And I'm going to start off by roasting it, and same thing with the cumin seed as well. So today we have about roughly 3 pounds of chicken and beef put together. I'm sorry, about 7 pounds of chicken, about maybe 3 pounds of beef. And this is basically the amount of the turmeric that you will need. I would say about roughly maybe 10 to 12 live turmeric roots, and then I have 2 large ginger, and then just 1 medium-sized galangal, and that's already peeled and chopped, ready for the food processor. And you would need about roughly the lemongrass for this one, maybe about 6 to 7 stalks of those of the lemongrass, and then you just cut them up into pieces like this to put in the processor. So let's start off with roasting our coriander seeds. No oil, we just need them dry roasted. And then we'll just have them turn colors. On a maybe medium heat, and let them roast on its own, and you can smell the aroma already. They'll start to crackle and pop on you. And about the amount that you need for this one would be, let's see, about 80 ounces, and about 80 ounces of cumin seed, and maybe 100 about 100 ounces of coriander seed. That's what it says on there. Turn down my fire a little bit. Have it on medium heat because they roast pretty quick. So basically you want them golden roasted. And you have to constantly stir because there's no oil, so the heat is direct heat. So basically the white coriander seeds, once it turn about golden brown, and same for the cumin seeds, when it gets a little bit dark brown, like almost like chocolatey kind of sort of color, that's when you want to turn off your fire and put them in your stone grinder, or you can use a blender. Coffee grinder, maybe that's another one that you can use just to turn them into powder. This is just a more aromatic way of doing it. I know you can get powder coriander, powder cumin seeds, but this is more of a traditional way that I got the recipe from my mom's oldest sister, the cook of the family. This is almost done, guys. They are roasting pretty quick with just a medium to low fire because it's already dry. It looks like we're just about ready. You're constantly stirring it because they won't burn. Looks like they're ready. Turn the fire off. Let it cool off just a little bit. I'd say about 5 to 10 minutes, guys. Alright guys, now that the cumin seeds and the coriander seeds is cooled off a little bit, and we're ready to put it in the pestle and mortar, and we'll just grind it. guess the easy way out also is you can use your coffee grinder or your spice grinder, put it in there. But I like this way better. I watch my mom do it, my mom's sister do it, and they just, you can smell it while you're grinding it. Right, friends, so these are what it looks like here. And then I forgot to mention, we do need 1 large red onion, chopped up roughly, and then throw it in your food processor. And so before we'll put this ingredient last, we'll go ahead and put the rest of the ingredient in and blend it. Okay, so after we stuff the food processor, we add about 2 cups of water in here so that everything can blend smoothly. Okay. Alright, friends, so we're done, and now what we did was we had to switch out our processor to a larger blender. I should have done that from the beginning. Didn't think the amount wouldn't fit. I thought it would, but now we got a larger blender, and it's time for us to put the grounded cumin and grounded coriander in there as well, and it's best to blend it together. You don't have to. You could just put it in with the chicken or the beef, but I prefer to mix it all in so all the flavors combine together. So basically, and then after that, you just marinate it in your beef and chicken for 24 hours in the fridge. You can put it in a container, or you can put it in your Ziploc bag. Make it easy. So put all this good stuff in here. Okay, let me make sure get this stuff out of there. Alright, so this is how I like to cut my chicken. And this is only leg thighs, boneless, skinless thighs. And so of course you get it from the store like this. I like to kind of spread it open a little bit and slice them this way. And you want the chunks not to be too small, so about roughly 1 inch, so that once you slide it onto the stick, it'll be easy for you to shape it to the saute portion that you desire. You can have it on a large stick or on a small skewer. There you go. And this is what you're gonna marinate for 24 hours with what we have blended. Well, now we're ready to put the palm sugar after it's all blended like this, really nice and smooth. And so I put palm sugar and salt. For this amount, I'll put about 4 large tablespoons of sugar. And then for the salt, I like sea salt flakes, and it's from Maldon, but any coarse salt will be fine, or sea salt. So I like to measure this for about a tablespoon. I'll say 2 tablespoons because we have a lot of chicken and beef. we'll get to blending them one last time. Alright guys, so it's time for the beef. I've got the Wagyu beef, and this is the one that is born and raised and harvested in the States, and they've already been pre-sliced at the grocers. All I have to do is just cut them into I would say 2 inches, like that, about an inch maybe, and then that's the length that you want to put on the skewer. So it's going to be sort of like a mini kebab. So the satay is like a mini kebab, but it's very delicious and flavorful. So put them in there and ready for the marinade to disperse into each bag, so they can be stored in the fridge overnight, and then tomorrow when you're ready to grill it, they'll be just right. And so I'll be back. Alright, so it's time to disperse the marinade to each bag. Now guys, I know it can be difficult sometimes to find your roots, ginger roots, your turmeric roots. They have in grocers that are powder, and you can use powder as well. If you have the powder ingredients, that'll be great. If you don't have the palm sugar, white sugar will be just fine, brown sugar will be just fine, and taste it. So you want your marinade to be the sweet and the salty, and then the flavor of the pronounced flavor of your ginger and your lemongrass all in there. And I believe they may have lemongrass powder as well. Now it won't be as pronounced as you would to use fresh lemongrass that I recommend, and fresh ginger definitely, but turmeric powder, you can get away with it. It'll still taste the same. The same goes for, let me take this out, probably make it a little bit easier for me. So we want to evenly disperse this out and let it coat very well in for the chicken. And since we don't have that much beef, so more goes for the chicken. That should be good. Let it marinate overnight till tomorrow. Now the least amount of time to marinate it, at least you want it to be for 3 hours to 4 hours, depending on the amount that you have. Okay friends, so while it's marinating the chicken and the beef satay, we're making the satay sauce, and it's out of, we need the ingredients of roasted peanuts. It can be salted or unsalted, that's fine. And then of course some vegetable oil, and we do need some shallots. And so we have some shallots here, and then we have some ginger and galangal. Galangal we don't need as much, just twice as much for the ginger, so the amount portion wise. And then we need the lemongrass. So first let's start roasting the peanuts. Let's put some oil. I would say we need about, for 1 kilogram of peanuts, or I should say 2 pounds of, 2 pounds of peanuts, we need about a cup of oil, vegetable oil. Okay, so once the oil is hot, we'll just throw in the peanuts. So this is about 2 pounds. So basically all you want to do is just roast it. And some peanuts come with the hull, but it'll come off as you're roasting it. And you want it to be really dark brown roasted peanuts. And the reason why you don't need too much oil is because peanuts, it already has oil in itself, so it'll be oily later. So roasting this will take about roughly 15 to 20 minutes. on medium to high heat. Alright, this is getting pretty close to done. And you can see the colors change on there on the roast. Peanuts are pretty toasty looking, and that's how you like it. It's a constant stir. Yeah, it can be tiring, but it's worth the taste. Alright friends, now that our peanuts has been cooled off some, and what we're going to do now next is we're going to put it in a blender and blend it to coarse peanuts. Alright, so let's see. And what a beautiful result. That's how coarse you want it to be. Just like that. Okay, so let's put it in the... Okay, and then this will be ready for us to boil it down here in a minute after we blend our shallots and our ginger and our galangal. So we're going to get to putting all the shallots in the blender. Your ginger, your galangal. Now some would like to have like maybe 2 or 3 garlic cloves, but I prefer it without because I don't want it to be bitter. I like my satay sauce to be like sweet and salty, more like peanut buttery sauce. And what I do with these is I'll take the lemongrass. I like to bruise them a little bit, so I'll bruise them like that because this is what you're gonna boil it with in the peanut sauce. So you want to bruise it. This is the only ingredient you don't need to blend. So roughly 8 to 10 lemongrass. The more the better. It wouldn't hurt. Okay, time to blend our shallots and ginger and galangal. Alright friends, let's get this fire going and have it to medium. I would say medium to high heat. Let it warm up. What I like to do is the leftover oil from roasting the peanuts, I take some out if it's too much, but actually this one is perfect. And then with the amount of what we have blended together already. So let it heat up a little bit more, medium to high heat, because when you put your ingredients in, we want it to really fry it, actually. Alright, time to put the blended ingredients in the hot oil. There's one that didn't get blended all the way. That's fine. So I want to let this heat up until basically the water dries up. Okay? About 5 to 10 minutes. Alright guys, so it looks like the water dried out just a little bit more, and that looks really good. And so we're going to add the bruised lemongrass. I'm going to let it sit in there for about another 5 to 10 minutes. Alright guys, now for some color, we're going to add some paprika. Now this is your choice. I'm doing this also for family who don't really handle spice, but you can add your Thai chili paste like the one I made in the video, and that will give it some heat. So put some paprika in there, and then we're going to put some palm sugar. I'd say for this one we'll put 2 tablespoons of palm sugar. Stir it up. And we'll add about 2 cups of water. And let it boil. Just let it simmer. Then it will be time to put the peanuts in. Okay, so now, after it's simmering like this, we're going to add the peanuts. So with these peanuts, while it's simmering with the sauce. Alright, so I added another 3 cups of water in here. So this is how it looks for it to be soaked in the water. So let this boil for 30 minutes, then it'll make its sauce. And what you want to do is reduce, when it boils, the water reduce its own, and it creates its own sauce. You'll see some oils will come float to the top because peanuts, create oil as well. So give it 30 minutes and we'll be back. Guys and friends, checking on our peanut sauce, and this is a constant stir. You do not want it to get sticky in the bottom and drying out. So gradually, if you see that you might need to add a little water here and there, half a cup at a time, then add it because of the amount of peanuts that you have in here, about 2 pounds. And so it's time to add sugar and salt for taste. So we'll see about roughly 5 tablespoons of sugar. Stir that really good. And then you want salt. Season it to taste. And that'll be about roughly 3 teaspoons of salt. You can already see the oils that are rising up to the top. Another 20 minutes like this, it should be ready. Alright, and let's check on it. After stirring for about 20-25 minutes, you can see the oils already rising up and on the sides of the pan. So that's how you know your peanut sauce is ready and done. And the flavor profile should be sweet and slightly not too salty, but just sweet. So it's ready for you to dip your satay beef or satay chicken. Well friends, it's the next day, so we're doing the satay chicken and the satay beef. And this is the Wagyu beef that's already sliced all you have to do is just stick it into the mini sticks, the skewers, and as I showed yesterday that I cut it into pieces, so you just slice it and you just put in the skewer in the middle and just shape it with your hand around it, and then it's time for the grill. So we'll do the beef. We want to keep the skewer away from the fire so you have something to hold on to. And we'll keep an eye on it and keep fanning the charcoal to keep the fire going, and then it'll probably be done within about 15-20 minutes. Alright friends, so gradually halfway cooked, what we do is we turn, keep turning like that, keep turning, and then once we turn, you want to you have your oil, vegetable oil, and 2 garlic that it's bruised, and just throw it in the oil like that, give it some flavor, and then just a little bit of the oil, just brush it over, and then keep turning till it's cooked. And we are ready. And normally we serve our satay with the peanut sauce that I made, and also we have the chopped cucumbers and also some onions with that. And this is ready, guys. Let's give it a taste. Let's try the Wagyu beef first. So good. The sweet and salty from the satay sauce pairs well with the beef and the chicken satay. And the Wagyu beef is so tender, melt in your mouth. Let's try it with the cucumber. Homegrown cucumber is always the best. Let's try the chicken. Just like home. Malaysian satay is the best. You taste that turmeric, the ginger, the galangal, all that's been marinated overnight last night. It's the best. Well guys, if you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And until next time, bye.